What's up, vapors? Thanks for checking out Daily Vape TV. My name is Nick, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Velocity V2 RDA. Alright guys, so I've had this Velocity V2 for the past couple of weeks. You saw me do a build on it, and I just wanted to give you guys a little more in-depth look at it and what the big differences are between the V2 and the V1. So anyways, let's go ahead and read a little bit off their website. It says, the Velocity V2 RDA is a joint collaboration effort between Cisco Correa and Dino Ferrari, based off a dual-screw two-post deck design Cisco had on paper for a while, and a collaborative effort in airflow and cap design between Cisco and Dino, Insignia design. The Velocity was born. So it also says the Velocity is a unique design full of groundbreaking features with infinite airflow adjustments and endless coiling options. There is no limit to the possibilities. The large, deep juice well, dual screw, two-post design opens up enormous coiling options for exotic coil builds and temp control nickel and titanium builds. Fully adjustable direct horizontal H slots feed air to even the most demanding coil, as well as flavor chasers. 6 fully adjustable indirect intake holes bring in additional air to help cool hot builds. The Velocity's unique two-post open deck design should satisfy even the most seasoned vapor, from flavor vapors to volume vapors and everything in between. So that being said, let's take a quick look here at the differences between the V2 and the V1. So it says the V2 has some improvements from the original design. It has a shorter 510 threading system for safer hybrid setup, convertible bottom feeding pin for all you squonkers out there, thicker negative and positive posts, larger post holes, more efficient indirect air hole placement, double notch for locking tab, cap alignment registration marks, thicker primary cap, 3mm shorter profile, and a smaller chamber. So the specs on this device, it's made of 304 stainless steel, it has 510 threading, it's 22mm outside diameter, 25mm overall height without drip tip, two-post design, dual screw, positive negative posts, unique side-mounted post screws, offset positive post, no center post, convertible bottom feeding pin, there you go, ships plugged, I guess it says here. High temp peak insulators, which are replaceable, large diameter 5.5mm, deep open liquid well, split cap design, infinite direct, indirect airflow adjustment options, dual 2mm by 8mm H slots, horizontal slots for direct airflow, 6 by 2mm fully adjustable indirect air holes, double O-rings for a firm primary cap seal, primary cap lock tab for precision air slot alignment, custom threaded large 12mm bore drip cap, no O-rings, no friction fit, custom threaded 510 drip tip adapter, CNC engraved serial numbers, brushed stainless finish, and bottom feeding convertible. This is with the squonk pin, which is shipped plugged. So, in the box is a Velocity V2 dripper, a Delrin widebore drip tip, Delrin 510 tip adapter, hex set screws installed 1.5mm Allen key, 4 slotted set screws, 1 by 1/32 by 3/32 flathead, 4 Phillips set screws, number 1 drive, 2 BF plug set screws, 1 installed, 2 hex keys, 0.9mm to 1.5mm, and 3 O-rings, red silicone or black nitrolite. I believe I'm pronouncing that correctly. So, I know I just shouted a lot of specs at you and everything like that, but to those of you that are in the know, that probably means something. Basically, this is one badass little atomizer. I gotta tell you, I am loving this thing so far. So let's just go ahead, blow a few clouds with this thing, go down to the close-up view, and take a better look at it. Alright guys, so as you can see, we have our Velocity V2 in its original packaging. I like the packaging. It's very simple, very plain, but, you know, gets the information that you need out there. But this is the best part about it, I gotta say. One more time. I don't know, I just get a kick out of that. So of course we have our Velocity V2 here, which we are going to put aside for now. Let's just, you know, wait on that. Let's just check out what else is in here. We have our replacement screws. Nice little baggie with screws in it there. I believe these are the Phillips head. These are flat heads. Okay, so these are the flat head screws. You get a set of those. Here we have a set of O-rings and a little tiny Allen wrench. And there's another screw in there. I'm not sure what that one is. Maybe the squonk pin or something like that. Honestly, it's probably something I'll never touch. Okay, so these are the Phillips head screws. There we go. Nice little baggie of Phillips head screws. So you get a total of 3 sets of screws. That's pretty cool. I like that they include so much extra stuff. And then there's your 510 drip tip adapter, Delrin, right there. Put that off to the side. You get a nice little authenticator card. You know, definitely makes it seem a little more official. There's my serial number 184. And let's see, a regular Allen head for the grub screws that are included. And then you get a little ring, a keychain ring for your little authenticator placard, whatever you want to call that. Alright, so now if you take this piece out here, it kind of gives you a little brief rundown all about the Velocity V2, showing you the different parts and how to change out pins and whatnot. Pretty plain and simple. I mean, there's really nothing else to it. So I'm just going to go ahead and put that back in there. So it comes with a lot of extras, definitely more than the clones, that's for sure. So yeah, let's just go ahead and put that stuff aside. Let's zoom in the camera a little bit more and we'll take a little bit better look at this thing. Alright, so let's start top to bottom. We'll go over all the little parts and pieces. So first of all, we have the wide bore tip here. It's just a simple little couple threads to get that out. And as you can see there, massive bore to the tip. I mean, that's a cloud chaser's dream right there. I mean, you can see that bore is pretty darn wide. And even with the 510 tip, it's pretty much the widest bore possible, which is kind of cool too. Now, here comes the design aspect of the Velocity. You can unscrew this top cap here, and this whole thing comes apart. So here's really the 2 main pieces to the Velocity. You have your upper airflow section and your lower chamber section. And you can really see how the design comes into play with these air holes here. So it has a vertical slot which turns it into a round hole when it's lined up with these holes on the top cap here. And with these, they're in the same position all the way down, but it's still going to maintain the same diameter all the way down just based on the size of the actual oval, which I think is pretty freaking ingenious if you ask me. But yeah, you can see the pre-drilled holes all the way around there. I believe there's 6 of them. Those are going to provide you with upper airflow, nice fine threading on the inside. Definitely feels nice and sturdy as far as quality is concerned. You can tell it's made out of a good quality material. And let's go ahead and take this section off here, just like that. And here's the lower half. Let's just see if we can refocus that real quick. All right. Nice O-rings on these things. Not too chunky and not, too resistive, but just enough. Just enough to give you a nice solid resistance where this top piece is not going to be spinning around freely or anything like that. Decent size main air holes here. I kind of equate that to about maybe the Doge, maybe something along those lines. It's almost the same size, maybe a little bit smaller. However, with the addition of the upper airflow, I think it even has more airflow than the Doge. You can see the male side of the threads on this and the female threads from the drip tip here. So you can just fit the drip tip right in these big chunky threads on this side and very fine threads for the cap. So you get nice fine level of adjustment there. You get like basically 8 full spins out of it before the cap can come off, which is really nice. And this is nice and thick. I like the lower half here. Nice and thick. Definitely feels like it's going to be sturdy and quality even if you drop it maybe once. So let's just go ahead and put that back together. When the O-rings get wet, yeah, they are a little bit more slippery, so just be aware of that. However, you can hold it by the top cap and it's not going to fall off even when the O-rings are saturated with e-liquid. And finally, the pièce de résistance. It's the build deck. This is what you guys have been waiting for. This is what you want to see. You can see the jumbo-sized holes for the coils there. Nice big holes in the posts. Nice big chunky screws. And you can kind of see from the top down here that they angled off the inner portion, so even more coil options that way. But yeah, these screws and the holes can accommodate pretty much anything you can throw at it. I mean, these are probably about 3mm, I'd say. At least 3mm they look like. And yeah, you can definitely fit a build right down the center. If you build a coil right down the middle, you can do dual coils, quad coils, whatever you want to do. And it has a nice upper and lower portion here, so you can put the positive post in the upper and the negative in the lower, and vice versa on the other side. And a nice 6mm deep juice well, so you can fit plenty of wicking down there. You can have your coils sitting up high, down low, wherever you want, and you're going to still be able to fit tons of wick down there, and it's going to make it even better for dripping right down the drip tip. So you can see the little hole. I hope you can see the little hole in the actual center pin there. That's not only for adjusting the pin, but also for anyone that's going to try to use this on a squonker. It feeds the juice right up through the 510 connection, which is great, kind of bringing that whole thing back. I like that. I mean, everyone's seen the new Kanger drip box, or whatever it's called, which is basically just like a squonker, but for noobs. So I think squonking might make a comeback. Who knows? As you can see here, dual red O-rings down here. And that's nice and tight with a little juice. Yeah, it loosens up a little bit, but not overly loose or not overly tight, just right. It's definitely like the Goldilocks of O-rings. And finally, the lower half of the squonk pin there, which, as it said on the website, it is closed off when it comes to stock, so no worries about leaking into your battery or anything like that. And then there's my serial number. Very simple engraved serial number, no flash. It's just all substance. So there you go. Let's just go ahead and put it all back together real quick, and I'll show you the final product. Everything just fits so nicely and is so comfortable and everything like that. I love this thing. So there you go. There is the Velocity V2, all the way from broken apart to put all the way back together. So let's go back to the main screen, have a quick chat about this thing, and we'll go over some pros and cons. Alright guys, that was the close-up section of the video. Hope you enjoyed. Now we're going to go over some of my thoughts on this device, some pros, some cons, and whether or not I would purchase this device for myself if I did not get it for this video. So first of all, some pros. I love the airflow options. There's almost an infinite amount of airflow options when it comes to this thing. If you want more flavor, you can tighten it down and close off the upper airflow. You can even close off the bottom airflow all the way and only rely on the upper airflow if you wanted to. You can use the wide bore tip, the 510 adapter, whatever you want to do. I really do like the fact that there's nearly endless options as far as the airflow is concerned. My next pro is going to be the dual post design. I love the Velocity dual post design. I feel like they were kind of the pioneers of that type of atomizer, and they really did a great job on it. I don't think you could improve much of anything about this device, actually. I love the fact that the post holes are a little bit bigger, so it can accommodate some of the more intricate builds nowadays and everything like that. That's great. And I feel like it's one of the better two-post designs. I've tried a few of the other ones, and I gotta say I like the Velocity V2 more. My next pro is going to be the fact that it comes with the grub screws. I know in the previous version it didn't come with the grub screws. You had to order them separately, and I'm kind of glad that Dino and Cisco included them in this package. Really comes in handy. I do like the grub screws a little bit more than Phillips screws, so that kind of is a little extra bonus in there. You also get the option, if you wanted to switch it out, to the Phillips head screws. They're in the package, which is great. My next pro is going to be the fact that it's simple and elegant. I mean, no muss, no fuss, Velocity V2. Boom, there's a tagline for you. It's very simple design. You know, I mean, it's a complicated design with a simple kind of look to it. It's stainless steel. There's no color options. There's no finish options. There's no nothing on the website or anything like that. You get stainless steel and that's it. And I mean, Dino and Cisco kind of come from the old school kind of vapor realm where you didn't really have that many color options at the time. I mean, nowadays you have Cerakoted mods like this Tiffany V2 tugboat and all the other ones out there that are different finishes and copper and brass and all this different stuff. And the Velocity V2, stainless steel, that's it. That's what you're getting, which I kind of appreciate that. And my final pro is the fact that it's for nearly every type of vapor. You can get better flavor out of it with the different airflow options. You have unlimited coil options. You can do angled coils, vertical coils. You can put a coil through the center of it if you wanted to, which I might have to do a build video on. There's literally something for everyone with the Velocity V2. In my mind, it takes the place of, 5 other atomizers. All the best features of those atomizers, put them in the Velocity V2, and that's what you're getting with this device here. Now let's move on to some cons. Nothing is without sin in the world of vaping, and I did find a few things that kind of annoyed me a little bit about this device, so let's go over them now. My first con, which is going to be the price and availability. This thing cost $125, and honestly, you can't get one right now. You're going to have to wait until the first week of April in order to even try to get one. Honestly, for me, it was luck. I was on the page when it was about to go live, so I just refreshed the page a couple dozen times until it went live, and I instantly ordered it, put in my information and everything. I wasn't even expecting to buy anything on that day or anything like that, so I kind of got one out of luck and fate, I suppose. It is a bit on the pricey side, but you get what you pay for. You definitely do. And as far as the availability, I believe there's only about 500 of these things on the market right now. I got number 184, which is great. It's a pretty low serial number, but I can imagine they're probably only going to release maybe a few thousand of these things. And I guess that's the way Dino and Cisco kind of operate, which, more power to them if they don't care that more people are getting the clones than the authentics, but I feel like they care more about the authentic versions and they take care of their customers if they have an issue or anything like that. You're going to get better customer service when there's not 10,000 of these things floating around. So my next con is going to be the upper airflow could be improved with the addition of a teardrop hole or a diamond hole. Now, as you saw in the close-up view, the holes on the upper airflow are completely round. I feel like they could kind of improve on that design with a little bit of a teardrop shape or maybe a diamond shape. Making it less turbulent. I find when you're using the upper airflow, it's pretty much either on, halfway, or off. And when you are using a halfway cutoff airflow at the upper half there, it gets to be a bit turbulent. I know that sounds like a weird thing to say when it comes to an RDA, but I'm definitely feeling a little bit of turbulence when it comes to having those holes cut off a little bit. So in my mind, it's either on or off, I guess, but they could have definitely improved on that design with a little bit of maybe elongating the sides of those air holes. Possibly. I'm not a machinist or an engineer or anything like that, so I'm just speculating here, but I did find that there was a bit of turbulence when I was vaping on it, as I said, with the air holes cut off about halfway. So my next con is going to be the lack of drip tip options. Unfortunately, this is a screw-in Delrin drip tip, and that's really all you get. You're not going to be able to fit anything else in there. You don't get your choice of double helix or half moon tips or anything like that. You're stuck with what they give you, which is the screw-in Delrin or the 510 insert for it. Personally, I like a wide bore, so I would have kind of liked to see a O-ring fit tip or something like that where I could fit one of my own tips in there or something like that. Unfortunately, that's not the case. My next con is going to be the juice collects in the airflow ring. So in this adjustment ring here, I'm an over dripper, so I tend to drip it right down the tube and it kind of collects juice all along the outside ring here, and I kind of have to wipe it off every couple hours or something like that. And also when you are loosening or tightening, the airflow adjustment here, you're going to notice more juice kind of collects in between the top cap and the actual chimney of the device itself. So unfortunately, I do find that there's a lot of juice kind of collecting around there, as well as on the drip tip. There's a little notch right next to the drip tip hole here where juice kind of collects if you accidentally drip down the outer side of your drip tip. So just be on the lookout for that and make sure you're keeping everything nice and squeaky clean. Have a paper towel on hand or something like that. That'll solve it. My next con is going to be that the cap is hard to get on even with the registration marks. Now, me personally, I tend to take my cap off when I'm using my Kennedys or something like that. I tend to take my cap off and paint my coils to drip on it. I don't usually drip right down the drip tip. However, with this one here, I've been dripping right down the tube just because I find that it's easier to do that rather than taking off the cap and putting it back on. It is not too hard when you put the cap back on to find that registration mark. All you have to do is, get it around where it's supposed to be and then kind of twist it about a quarter turn. You're going to find that little notch that it sits in. But having that off any little bit is definitely annoying. Your cap kind of sticks up on one side, and it's kind of not the best overall design. I mean, I hate to say it, but I'd rather just go without the little locking mechanism there and just have a cap where I can adjust the airflow to my choosing. So finally, I'd like to go over whether or not I would purchase this device if I did not get it for the purpose of this video, and my answer would be, of course, yes. I actually did pay full retail price for this thing. I bought this on my own volition, and I had to wait for it and everything like that. I did not receive this product for free. I did not receive this product from the manufacturer for the purpose of a video or anything like that. I actually spent my own money on it, and I would do it again in a heartbeat. Now, the reason I say that is because I feel like Dino and Cisco put their heart and soul into the Velocity, and you can tell they really stand behind their design, and they are trying to do something for the vaping industry that not everyone is doing nowadays. You see a lot of these very flashy RDAs, and there's a lot of flash and very little substance. This one is quite the opposite of that. This one is all substance and very little flash. I mean, down and dirty, 22 millimeter stainless steel atomizer. You get what you get. And, I feel like these guys are probably using this thing on a day-to-day basis. You can really tell what the designers were intending to do when it comes to this atomizer, and I can definitely appreciate the design aspect of it. Now, I see a ton of people have clones of the Velocity V1s, and I'm definitely going to be seeing that in the very near future when people get their hands on the clones of the version 2. Now, I hope Dino and Cisco kind of take a cue from maybe this video and everyone else out there who want more of these things, and maybe crank out a few more of them to kind of increase that demand on the marketplace. You can tell these guys want these devices, but I don't feel like a lot of people are really willing to pay for it. And honestly, I gotta tell you, I'm definitely one for paying for what you get, and I feel like this thing is very high quality. The machining, the materials, everything like that are very top notch, and I'm willing to pay for it. I'm definitely willing to pay for someone else's hard work and dedication to this industry. So that about does it for this video, guys. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. Check out the links in the description if you want to get your hands on one of these things for yourself. You're going to have to wait till the first week of April, but keep your eyes on Avid Vapor for the release date of the Velocity V2, the next batch. Also, check out the advocacy links. I have them down there for you. Make sure you're fighting for your right to vape, and my personal social media pages. I have Instagram and Twitter. Make sure you go follow me on there. Go like my fan page on Facebook, and if you want, follow me on Snapchat to catch up on the day-to-day operations here at Daily Vape TV. So anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, vape on!